How would you like to experience living and studying in two different countries, far away from each other but in some ways so similar? To any Englishman, New York is a fascinating place where a lot of people are not even privileged to visit. How would you like to study photography and learn how to freeze a moment in time so perfect it makes everybody smile? How would you like to work with children and capture their innocence on film and make their childhood and age last forever on the wall? Today's guest will talk about her background in photography and her experience of moving to America from the United Kingdom to fulfill her dream and take her studies further. The Humanities Mass Communication Department at Norwalk Community College presents The New Directors, the show that introduces you to television's future writers, directors, and personalities. And now we join our host, Eric Bousset.
Thank you for joining us for today's edition of New Directors. All the people involved in this program are students in the television production course and are directing, switching, controlling audio, operating cameras for the first time today. The guests you're about to meet are students who are not on camera, behind the scenes, working hard to bring this program to you with as few mistakes as possible. Each student will write and direct 3 different productions. The program will give them a chance to talk about themselves, the productions they are planning, and a chance to get to know them and their progress throughout the semester. Today's guest is an NCC student majoring in communications. She has studied photography and now broadening her career path. We'd like to meet today's guest, a close personal friend of mine, Laura Dicker.
Hi.
Hi. Laura, nice to see you. We know that you moved from UK to be here in Connecticut with us. Tell us about your photography work and what you have achieved so far.
Sure. I studied in Edinburgh in Scotland for 3 years, and I enjoyed learning about the whole process of film and photography. I really enjoyed shooting different ages and creating different arty shots. Let's take a look at some of the images I created. First is one of my personal favorites. From looking at my shots, you'll see a pattern showing of my style and that I use in most of my images. I tend to put the subject either the far left or right, leaving a big space to draw the attention to the main point of view. This is a Christmas shot. Children at a young age are hard to shoot, so it's important to take lots of images so you can filter through and find the best ones. Unusually on this image I had the child in the middle of the shot. It worked well because of depth of field. It draws the attention to the child along with her bright coat. This was the image I used for my business card in Scotland. It wasn't planned at all. The child was running over to his mum and I quickly captured it. This was taken in a graveyard and I really love the composition and the strong contrast. Then I came to New York and took some of my best pictures. This was at the top of the Rockefeller. Everybody else was taking pictures of the Empire State. I kind of saw things a little bit differently and took it at a different angle. I really love the color. And here again, I really like the contrast and the composition. I think it works really well. I use a lot of Photoshop in all of my work just to enhance things a little bit more and to take things a little bit further. It's also good as well to use long shutter speeds. It gives you completely different shots, and here's one of my favorites from Times Square. This is my absolute favorite image, and it appears on a lot of my friends and family's walls. It took a lot of patience, but it was worth it.
Those are terrific. Could you tell us why you decided to take the TV production course?
Sure. Well, I really enjoyed learning about photography and taking pictures. But when I got a job in the field, I really didn't enjoy it that much. So I thought I'd have to do something different. I like being active, and I wanted something that didn't mean I'd have to sit at the computer all day. So I decided to take a film and television course, something that would be very similar to what I've done before, but something which I had no idea about. I would like to have a job in it in the future, so that incorporates all of it together, I think.
What are some of the most useful things you learned in the TV course?
Well, we learned how to operate video cameras, along with learning basic elements such as composition, sequencing, and scripting. We also learned video and audio editing, including switching and post-production, and which I was very excited about. I enjoyed learning how to use the program Avid. It was really difficult, but when you figure out how to get it, you do feel a good completion when you finished your work. And also, Working in a team is really important, and we did learn a lot about this in this class.
Can you please tell us about your action sequence and your Guns N' Hoses editing program, your winter spring project, and your orange story?
Sure. For my action sequence, my idea seemed to be quite good in the initial, but when we were filming it, it didn't really work out so good. It was too dark, so the lighting really didn't work very well, as you can see here. And it was really cold in January filming it. I wanted to have someone leaving the college and going to their car and driving off. The best bit about it was the close-up of the keys, though. Guns N' Hoses, we learned a lot about editing effects and how to put it together and put the titles in. It was the first time we put footage into Avid to edit. It was a worthwhile project, but again quite hard to grasp. My winter and spring project was fun shooting at various locations. I started off doing the snow, but then obviously that didn't last so long, so I had to move on to spring. It was good to use lots of different camera techniques to make it interesting and show the outdoors at its best. I used the snow, rain and sun to get a broad spectrum of weather and not to make it too boring to watch. Lastly is my orange story. This was very fun, and filming got a lot of attention by passing students. I was nervous about thinking of the story, but when I started filming and after storyboarding, it all came into place. I like the way the story connects, and having such bright colors makes it interesting and fun to watch.
Can you tell us about your best project?
Well, I really enjoyed shooting the winter and spring New England project. Let's have a look. It felt comfortable filming as the composition techniques were familiar to my photography background. When I put it together in Avid with the music and the dissolves, it made me feel proud to achieve my best piece. Learning about different camera techniques made it interesting and pleasing to the eye. I combined winter and the start of spring to show differences in weather. Overall, I'm very pleased with the outcome.
So, what would you like to create next?
Well, I would like to film some more personal projects and use my photography background to help me do this. I definitely would like to take the opportunity of documenting some ideas in New York City, as I might also make the most of the time I have living here.
Today we got to meet someone who has showed us her photography and film work. Hopefully one day Laura will be working in television studio in one of the many jobs bringing television shows like this to you. We would like to thank Laura for joining us today.
No problem.
Hope you will continue to watch us each week to watch our progress. Thank you and good day.
This has been The New Directors, with your host, Eric Bousset, directed by Christopher Olsen. I'm your announcer, Byron Kittle. The New Directors is a Norwalk Community College student production.